What's going on, YouTube? So as evident by the number of them you see on the road, the Toyota RAV4 is one of America's best-selling vehicles. And when combined with its other Japanese competition, make up the vast majority of compact crossovers sold in America. However, as shown through a ton of home run vehicles recently, Hyundai is here to play ball. And they're hoping this all-new and super stylish Tucson will be the product that takes down the RAV4. So were they successful in that mission? Let's go ahead and find out. So to get things established here, let's quickly talk about the pricing and option levels of these two. Hyundai has always been known for value, so they're offering even this all-new model at a good price point. We have the fully loaded limited trim with all-wheel drive and optional carpeted floor mats, coming in at a total of $37,454 after destination. Now the RAV4 is one of the pricier options in the class, so to keep things equivalent, we have the RAV4 XLE Premium all-wheel drive with a lot of options. After factoring in those options and the destination charge, we have a total price of $37,347. So with very equally matched price tags, let's go ahead and see who's going to come out on top. So first we have the exterior of these two crossovers, and they are on completely different planets. The new Tucson looks like it could be extraterrestrial, with a very sharp and angular design that certainly stands out. By comparison, the RAV4 has a handsome and traditional SUV shape that looks tougher. But the boldest part of the Tucson's front design is definitely the lighting. It has a futuristic LED daytime running light made up of 5 cascading bulbs that are embedded directly into the grille. This is like nothing we've ever seen before and certainly stands out over the Toyota and its incandescent turn signal. As far as the headlights themselves, both have full LED units, but the Tucson's are more advanced projector LEDs instead of reflector. That being said, only the RAV4 will give you fog lamps. Continuing our way around to the sides, you'll see the same design themes continue. The Hyundai has a ton of interesting body lines and angles, with 19-inch contrast alloys that have a very angular design as well. The RAV4 is more slab-sided and has chrome-finished 19-inch alloys. In the back, both have partially LED taillights. The Tucson hides the rear wiper, and the RAV4 includes dual exposed exhaust tips. It's also worth mentioning that when properly equipped, the Hyundai can tow 25% more weight. Now checking out some of the individual odd and end features. Both of their mirrors have heating and blind spot monitoring, as well as their brand's latest active safety suites. Included within those are full speed adaptive cruise control, lane keeping assist, forward emergency braking with pedestrian detection, and auto high beam headlamps. The Hyundai also includes a convenience feature for tight parking situations called Smart Park, where you can park the car unmanned. And the last thing on the outside are the warranties. As you probably know, Hyundai has the industry-leading 5-year 60 and 10-year 100,000-mile warranties. And it's also now including 3 years of complimentary maintenance compared to the Toyota's 2. But anyway, that concludes the outside. So now let's move inside the cabins before we take them out for a spin. So walking up to the doors, both will come with smart entry systems and remote start from the fob. Just keep in mind that the RAV4's remote start system is linked to your Intune remote subscription and will be disabled after the trial period ends. Now opening up the doors, you will be struck by just how dissimilar these interiors look in every way. Beginning with the seats themselves, both have 8 ways of adjustment, heating, and 2-person memory. However, the Tucson has a couple advantages since it has real leather instead of leatherette, and seat ventilation. Once inside the cabins, we can check out the broad category of material quality. Both have similar materials with a mixture of soft and hard touch plastic. However, the Hyundai includes some cloth and piano black trim to add some extra visual interest. Additionally, the RAV4's door trim is made almost entirely of hard-touch plastic, while the Tucson's is all soft materials, so it's going to get the point here. After startup, we have the gauges, which are again super different. Toyota is using a 4.2-inch multifunction display, while the Hyundai goes super premium and includes a vivid 10.25-inch full digital setup. In addition to looking very nice, the gauges also allow for Hyundai's exclusive blind view camera system. Coming back to the steering wheels, both are leather wrapped with heating and they have rain sensing wipers. But moving on to one of our other most important elements, let's discuss storage. Under the center consoles and in the front storage bins, they are roughly equivalent to each other. However, the RAV4's big distinguishing element is its signature storage shelf, which is a great place for loose items. Both have wireless phone charging pads, but the RAV4 has an extra USB port on deck. Now diving into the shifters, we don't normally debate electronic versus physical shifters, but in this case, the Hyundai's push-button style shifter with park off to the side was more difficult to get used to than most. When in reverse, you'll see backup cameras appear. The Tucson's is a 360-degree camera with several different views to choose from, while the RAV4 would need a significantly more expensive model to get that feature. Moving up the dashboard, both have dual-zone automatic climate control setups. Normally, touch capacitive buttons aren't the best solution, but in the Tucson's case, they are very responsive and really no harder to use than the RAV4's knobs. The same cannot be said for the volume controls though, which are quite hard to modulate. Now, due to a self-service issue when filming the Tucson, we don't have an audio sample to compare to the RAV4. But as you can see, the Toyota has a 3-speaker advantage, and in person, the RAV4 did seem to sound better. So now let's go ahead and start to unpack these infotainment systems. First off, the Tucson has a significantly larger and higher resolution display at 10.25 inches versus 8 inches. And it also has an integrated navigation system, which requires a more expensive RAV4. Both have wired Android Auto and Apple CarPlay abilities. Moving up from there, the RAV4's mirror has a special trick of being a camera to cut out all the obstructions. But the Tucson fights back by including a panoramic sunroof at this price point. Now heading around to the rear, the stuff back here is probably just as important as what's in the front, and these two are some of the most spacious offerings in the class. The new Tucson has increased its length by over 6 inches, which has now propelled its legroom past the RAV4. It also has the advantage in headroom, but not by more than a 5% margin required to score a point. Now once you actually get inside, both have rear air vents, as well as 2 charging USB ports, but only the Tucson throws in seat heating at this price point. Moving out back, both have power tailgates, but only the Hyundai throws in hands-free opening. Once inside, you'll find very similar and very good dimensions. With the seats in place, the Tucson has less than a 5% advantage, but with everything folded, its advantage grows to 7% more cargo capacity. Alright, this comparison is not over yet, so now let's take them out on the road and see how they stack up. So far through this video, there have been enormous differences between these two. However, under the hood, they are more similar than anywhere else. That's because they both have 2.5-liter naturally aspirated 4-cylinder engines, paired to 8-speed automatic transmissions and all-wheel drive systems. However, the RAV4 makes a decent amount more power than the Tucson, at 203 versus 187 horsepower, and it definitely feels faster getting to 60. Okay, so first taking off in this 2021 RAV4, you are going to have the same engine as last year, as you probably expect. So that's going to be a 2.5 liter naturally aspirated 4-cylinder engine, 203 horsepower, 184 pound-feet of torque. So those are definitely numbers actually that are on the upper end of the segment, more than, you know, like the RAV4, Nissan Rogue, and many of the rivals. And you know, getting up to speed definitely does a good job. You can tell that, you know, this is a pretty peppy engine. You know, it really gets you up to speed nicely. All right, nice. So I was first taking off with this all-new 2022 Hyundai Tucson. So what we're in right now is the naturally aspirated gas motor. It's 2.5 liters and it's making 187 horsepower, 178 pound-feet of torque, which is competitive numbers for the class. It's probably just about right in the middle, although it is a little less than what you get out of like a RAV4. Yeah. Like I already mentioned, both have all-wheel drive and 8-speed automatics that really do a nice job of keeping them in their power bands. There are also nice improvements over the CVTs that many in the segment have. Part of that has to do with the fact that this comes with an 8-speed automatic transmission. So if you've been shopping in this segment, you know that a great deal of competition comes with continuously variable transmissions. So having the traditional 8-speed on board, I think, is a benefit, not only in responsiveness, but just in everybody having a more traditional feel, which I think most people prefer having. Now, as far as other driving characteristics, both have nice ride quality and well-controlled dynamics. Around corners, neither are wallowy, and the steering setups are appropriately light but accurate. As far as our sound level readings are concerned, at 55 miles per hour, the Tucson is quieter, though not by a big enough margin to score a point. Okay, now we're up to speed here. I will get the sound level reading. And we're looking at 55.5 decibels. That's a good reading. Looks like we're going to be sitting around 58 decibels. And lastly, for fuel economy, the Tucson lags behind several of the biggest rivals, including the RAV4, by 10% combined. Normally we would evaluate value at this point in the video, but since the price difference between these two is only $107, that won't be needed today. And with that, we conclude this comparison. As you can see, the new Tucson really has a lot going for it, with tons of style, technology, and space for the whole family, which is why it's today's winner. Of course, the RAV4 isn't number one for no reason, since it offers a really well-rounded package with more conservative styling and Toyota's legendary reputation for reliability. So let us know which one you'd choose in the comments below. Anyway guys, thanks for joining us for this Car Confections comparison. And be sure to subscribe for more comparisons and our signature full review videos. Take care and stay safe out there.